Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're looking at my LEGO Ford Raptor. So, before we start doing the overview, the instructions are listed at rebrickable.com. Link is down below, so if you'd like to get the instructions, you can go to the link and get them if you want to build this. So, now we'll start with the overview of the Raptor, and to do that we'll start with the history of the Raptor. So, the Raptor is a high-performance trim level of the standard Ford F-150, and it started in 2014 with the Ford SVT Raptor, which had a V8 producing 411 horsepower. And it definitely looked better than the original Raptor, or than the original F-150, but it was not really a great looking pickup truck compared to the modern Raptor. But it is quite a cool truck. In 2017, Ford produced the second generation Raptor, which was powered by a twin-turbo V6 producing 450 horsepower, and it's still made today. You see both of these quite often, and that makes sense because the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, or best-selling vehicle in America. So let's move on to the LEGO model. We have the Raptor right here, as you can see. I think it's the real-life Raptor is the second generation one, that is the best-looking pickup truck ever made, really. I don't think there's much else that really comes close to it. It looks like a Lamborghini pickup truck almost. It's so aggressive in the front end with the lights and the front grille. But basically, this is a LEGO representation, so it's not exact, but it's pretty close. So let's go over the details of it. So this video probably would have been posted a little bit earlier had it not been that I realized that a couple details were missing. Because first I realized this truck was completely ready a couple of days ago, and then I watched the Stradman's recent video on his Raptor where he wrapped it, and I realized that my truck doesn't have those intakes on the hood. So I thought, okay, I better go fix that. And then when I realized that I built this model in Bricklink Studio, and then I realized that I got the reference pictures off the Ford website from the Raptor configurator, and there is no top picture of the Raptor, there's only the side pictures, so I didn't even see the top of the Raptor when I was building it, and when I was looking at the pictures to base the model off of. So I built the new hood, which was all brick built now. Before it was a wedge plate, but now it is a brick built, or plate built, I suppose, and it looks pretty good, perhaps a bit more realistic than the old hood. So we moved on to the front here. The front grille definitely looks very good, I think. I came with this front grille design quite a while back. In fact, it was before I started the YouTube channel, if I remember. I had this front bumper grille design here, and I was working on it, and I decided that the Raptor might be a bit too difficult for a first model, so I came up with the G-Wagon, which is my very second model, or second model on the YouTube channel anyway, and you can go see that video, the G-Wagon 6x6, and a couple weeks ago I decided to go back to the Raptor and finally make it, and we got this, and it looks pretty good. Definitely, we got that grille in there using some almost Lego mosaic techniques, and I think it looks pretty good with these cheese slopes that form the top of the grille, and the headlights coming down the sides. The headlights are a bit shorter than they should be, but I think they look fairly realistic. On the sides, you get these wedge plates that allow the headlights to come back around the side a bit, and it looks pretty good, I think. They do stick out a little bit, but the real Raptor does have, it's so wide it does stick out there anyway. And then on the bottom of the front bumper, we got these tow hooks, and then we got these very interestingly attached sort of slopes to the bottom of the front bumper, and we got them attached upside down using Lego lipstick pieces and some clips. It's a very interesting technique, as you can see here. So we move further back, we have the front fenders, and the front fenders are definitely a bit too short, or all fenders are definitely a bit too short. They should go around the wheel a bit more, but the Lego doesn't make fenders that big, so we kind of had to stick with these ones, which is the closest thing to the real Raptor's fenders. As you can see, this truck has no windscreen. That's because all Lego windscreens are either too steep or too low, or too long. So we use this custom one, and this is inspired quite a bit by the one in the KMP Mox Aventador, Lamborghini Aventador, which I reviewed recently on the channel. I'll link to that video down below. I'll also link to their Instagram account down below if you'd like to see their other models, because they're quite cool. So thanks to them for coming up with this excellent window design. Also on the hood, you can see we have that intake that I mentioned, I completely forgot about earlier, and then came back and designed. On the side, we have this side step area down below, which is quite simple with some modified tiles down there. We have this indent inside, which is basically sort of a exaggeration of the real Raptor's indent. The real Raptor's indent is quite a bit longer and taller, but it's not this deep, so we kind of just did it in the deepest part of where the real indent is, and we get the general idea, and it kind of breaks up that otherwise completely flat side of the Raptor. We have a very nice American flag 1x2 tile on there. Not entirely sure which set that comes in, but it was in studio, and I just used it, and oh, that looks pretty good. So then we have the door handles, which are just formed by these 1x1 black plates. And even though they're quite simple, they do look quite realistic. And this is one detail I completely forgot about. This Raptor was around for quite a while without door handles. And one day I looked at a picture of the Raptor recently, and I completely realized I completely forgot door handles. The rear view mirrors they're a bit too low, but I can't really mount them much higher because of this windshield technique on there. And they don't look too bad. They're using the same sort of technique as the Lego Ferrari F8 Tributo. And there is a sort of depression in the front part of the side window. And the reason there is no front side window, physical window anyway, is because of that special windscreen technique, and thus we can't fit a windshield or a Lego window in there quite well without having a big gap in the front of it. So we move back. There is a black divider between the two windows, and we have the rear window, which is formed by some bricks and tiles or bricks and plates that are transparent black, and those are used because Lego windows. There's no Lego window this short, so these ones work pretty well, and they do reasonable representation, except there's a lot of lines in the window. So then on the roof is quite simple, using this triple curved wedge plate and some tiles, and you pull it off, and there's an interior in there, full interior. It seats 4 minifigures, and we got those blue stripes in there to represent the blue interior option on the real Raptor, and a steering wheel, center console, all that stuff that you'd find in a real Ford Raptor. And we move on to the back wheel. Nothing really special there, just a wheel with a fender. I should point out that these wheels are used because they roll quite well, but there is a much more realistic design with Speed Champions wheels that I came up with. The wheels do not roll, but they look a lot more realistic, so perhaps if you want to just display this model, you might want to go for those axles instead. Those axles are in the instructions if you'd like to build them, and they're also a bit thinner, so they don't stick out as far. It looks a bit more realistic. From the back, we have this cheese slope, or cheese grater slope, I think it's called. This grill slope back here. And it's attached upside down with one of these modified plates. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it's down there to form this nice slope. And then around the back, we have the same wedge plate in the side of the truck to form the sides of the taillights. And taillights are formed with these trans red plates and then a red plate. And the red plate is to represent the real F-150 Raptor. If you go look at a real one, you'll notice the top of the taillight is transparent red, and the bottom part is solid red, and the solid red part is a parking sensor. So that's to represent the real-life taillight. We have the dual exhaust tips, and we have a trailer hitch to tow around whatever you might need to tow with a Raptor, so race cars, dune buggies, I don't know, horses, whatever you could tow quite a bit with this. I have opening tailgate, which is the first time I've implemented an opening tailgate into one of my vehicles, and it works quite well. And it's using this nice technique that is inspired from the KMP Mox Raptor. I'll link to that down below, and it's basically a simple technique to form this quite nice looking rear tailgate design. Inside, the tailgate, it's not very spacious because of the fenders coming in there, but it's not too bad. You can fit quite a bit of stuff in there. So here's a comparison of the size next to some of my other trucks and some Legos trucks. So as you can see, the Lamborghini Urus is way over to the left, and it's quite small compared to most of these. And the Raptor is definitely smaller than the G-Wagon 6x6, but of course the G-Wagon 6x6 is quite an oversized model. It fits in pretty good with most of these. It definitely is a bit big compared to some 6-stud wide cars, or trucks. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Like I said, the instructions are at rebrickable.com, link in the description, and you can buy them there, and you can build this model. And you can also probably swap the colors out, because a red, gray, or blue Raptor would also look really good. I got the white Raptor because we were going for a special design that's coming up in the future. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. You can give us a like if you did. You can follow me on Instagram to see what the previews of all these new models before they come out on YouTube. And that's it for today's video. We'll see you next time.